Good morning or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Uh, this is the Journal of Future Studies Community of Practice Authors Engagement session for December. And we're happy to welcome Kevin Jae, author of the recent piece from the most recent issue of Journal of Future Studies, entitled Decolonizing Futures Practice, Opening Up Authentic Alternative Futures. And with that, I think I'll turn it right over to you, Kevin.
Yep, great. Thank
Tell us
you.
about the article. Tell us what inspired you to write the article.
Also, Taiwan was 10 years ago, and I've always been sort of like wanted to, I don't know, discover my true self when I was younger. And I thought I could do this by like traveling, which would sort of peel off the skins of culture and helping me to find my true self. But that doesn't really have too much to do with future studies, but it does have to do with Taiwan. But how I got into future studies was in maybe 2018. So I did my master, or sorry, 2019. I did my master's in anthropology in 2018 to 2019 at the University of Toronto. I'm coming from Toronto, or coming to you from Toronto right now. Actually, it's very dark and very cold. So after I did that, I wanted to explore various career options and see what people do after they finish their master's in anthropology. And I met this one guy who was the head of futures at this design thinking agency. I mean, there's foresight futures practice in these design agencies usually. And he told me that in order to be a good futurist, you need to be well-read, you need to speak a lot of languages, and you need to be a little bit weird. And I thought, like that's it just resonated with me. So that's how I started to explore the space. And so I don't really have I was actually going to go through this in my first slide, so this is great. So I actually don't have a formal education in future studies or anything like that, but I have around 5 years of engagement, and I did so by, like, for example, applying to be an intern at the Copenhagen Institute of Future Studies, like the Horizon Scanning internship there. I was also like an APF fellow in 2020. I wrote about like the future of migration, which was pretty fun. I also like do some work with a local foresight agency here in Toronto, Quantum Run Foresight. I don't know if anyone's heard of them. But we just like collaborate off and on. And I also am currently a World Future Studies Federation member, and I like help them out with their Human Futures magazine. So my engagement's mostly like academic, I would say. But how this article came about was when I read about this opportunity, which was the World Future Studies Federation and Prince Mohammed bin Fahd University Research Fund. I think they still have it, but I haven't seen like the calls for the 2023 scholarship. So I'm not sure what happened with that. But yeah, so I just submitted a proposal. And to be honest, if I had to do this again, I probably wouldn't do it, because like it just took way too much work, and it took like over 2 years, and like my initial ideas completely changed. I guess it just is what happens with like academic papers, and your ideas change, things just change. You find out things that you didn't know at the beginning, etc., etc. But I'm not sure if I would be able to exert myself again and go over this entire process again for this specific article. Because although this my article is about decolonizing futures practice, as you can probably hear from my introduction, I'm not like an expert practitioner or facilitator, so I'm more like contribute as an academic, and I read through a lot of the academic literature, and I've tried to overcome like the potential gaps I might have in terms of my lack of experience and practice by doing interviews with experienced practitioners. So Sohail and Yvonne have been really, really helpful, and answered my cold message on LinkedIn to them to have me interview them, which I was really surprised about, because just like I was like a nobody. But because of this, I also just greatly value like your input and your thoughts, and hopefully we can get an interesting discussion going.